Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will attempt to write a complete scenario for the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. So let's see where we are. Morgan and Tyler are working on the text body of this scenario, and Oscar is giving tips on editing, while Jason and Zane are working on characters. I'm working on the graphics. So let's see what's up. Who wants to go first?
I will. Okay. So... again, my writing has been very slow, but Morgan and I were talking this week, and we kind of made a little bit of an executive decision, which hopefully everybody's going to be good with. But we decided to change the cannibal from a man to a woman. And here's the reason why, and I'll kind of walk, because I'm the one who proposed this. Morgan agreed, so if there's anything wrong with it, it's totally my fault. I was sitting there thinking as I was writing the parts of the scenario that involved the cannibal, and to me it felt very much like we were just dropping something else in, and it was very cliche to have this rough bearded guy be somebody who is going up against the PCs, and it was very hard for me in my head to I guess not justify, because it definitely adds a lot to the scenario, but one of the goals or one of the purposes of the cannibal is to try to trick the PCs into thinking that he's not, or the cannibal is not malicious or not working with the sand dwellers. And the more I thought about it, the more all I could think of was, the PCs are going to see this like rough bearded guy in a cabin in this place that's supposed to be deserted. They're immediately going to throw their suspicions up. No matter what we do, players are going to be players. They're going to be suspicious. And so I started to think, all right, well, what can we do to allay that suspicion a little bit, just to maybe make the surprise a little bit better. And as I thought about that, my mind went, well, maybe we could kind of have him, trick or pretend to be part of the party that's missing. And then I thought, all right, well, that's one step. And then, I started thinking about, what would even allay the suspicions a little bit more. And I kind of came to the conclusion that if we made the cannibal a woman instead of a man, I think that would immediately allay a lot of suspicions. There's still going to be some there because, this person's in the middle of the woods and that. But I also started to think, well, what if our party that's missing, the scientific party that went missing, that one of the reasons that they were semi-famous, or at least got in the news, was because they had a woman on their expedition with them. And so if we changed it and did that, then we could have the woman cannibal be pretend to be the woman in the party, and I think at that point the players might be a little bit less suspicious of that, and be more willing to not necessarily fall for it, because there'll definitely be clues that she isn't who she says she is, but I think it kind of adds a bit more. It doesn't feel as as much as like a drop into the scenario anymore, at least my thoughts.
You can even have her put on the female's clothes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So in fact, in the background, so what I posted, what I sent to everybody, I actually went in and edited the background to include in the background section. It is in fact the daughter of the founder of the town who goes cannibal, and it talks about how after she attacks the party, she steals the clothes of a female to pretend to be her, to catch whoever comes, to catch more people who come looking, because she wants more.
Actually, it would make more sense if she had no idea that anybody else was coming. She just took the clothes because her clothes are ratty and tattered and all that, and she just wanted new clothes, and there they were. And the players mistake her for, and she just plays that up. Oh yeah, that's me.
And she's
Tyler,
filthy
Tyler,
because she's been stuck in the woods.
a little loud now.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. I didn't want to interrupt you earlier, but I can fix that in post.
So what are we thinking? Josephine instead of Jason?
Currently, I've named her Jane.
Jane? Yeah.
Instead of Jason. Jane Mel. At the moment is what.
So the owner of the town's name was still Jason, right?
Yep, Jason Mel, founded the town.
Because that was something me and Jason have we've decided to do. We think it'd be quite cool. Is that each of us who are creating the game, our name is used as one of the characters or some part of the story. So right now, it's Father Rayleigh is the preacher of the town.
Of the Congressional Church of West Haven.
Yep.
I lived down the street at one time from a Father Glenn Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Local church.
Zane is going to be one of the. He's going to be a stable man. Yeah.
Can I suggest though that she should have a very feminine sort of name?
That's what I was thinking.
Of the 1800s, like
Josephine,
or Josephine, or Isabel. No, maybe not.
The cannibal.
Yeah, because she's from the late 1800s.
And I think that psychologically that will lessen. Certainly, Josephine can't be a bad person. Jane.
Well, I believe that the person that she killed, that I had, that she killed and took her her identity in a sense, if we go with that still, if she's trying to pretend to be her, was Victoria. Was the person that she killed and took.
Why don't we call her Morgan?
That can't be a woman's name.
Well, the top 1800 female names,
or Llewellyn.
Oh,
no. See, the great old one should have the Llewellyn name. You just replace a couple of L's and some of the E's with apostrophes.
But I mean, this is my daughter Llewellyn here.
I love that. That's so good. Yeah,
Llewellyn.
Also, just so you brought the big old one, we're going to leave that to you, Tom, because the big one, that was your idea. That was your baby.
Yeah.
The great old one, as far as some of the details about it, of the larva and things.
Tom, it's not really a great old one, but it's
just a giant evil
extra
monster
thing.
Big bad.
Yeah. Well, Zane and I were talking. We figured whoever came up with the concept should have the right or the gift to make it. Since you created it in your head already.
I was trying to think of where the black stones came from. So I talked about this thing building a nest for its young, and then Tom went and did the art of it.
Right, I just did the art. And we kind of decide that it doesn't have to have a name.
It doesn't need one.
How would anybody learn its name?
The Sands Dwellers could say something, but
me and Jason was saying the stats of the character.
Right.
That up to you guys since it was your creation.
Oh, okay.
That's why we figured since you had the concept, maybe you wanted to actually create its stats and make it your baby basically.
Yeah. And work out how many hit points they have to inflict on.
We'll just call it the dweller. It'll just be like the dweller in the cave. It will have some Lovecraftian title book as its name.
The Brood Mother.
The Brood Mother works. Whatever.
Because the word brood sounds really creepy.
I like that.
Brood Mother.
The Brood Mother.
And actually.
But it's really all of it.
Well, and since Tyler is writing kind of the end there, I think we can leave it up to him on how he wants to handle the stats of the thing. If he wants to, because I know we were talking about before having one kind of configuration where it's they could have a more pulpy ending where they could try to fight it off, or a more classic ending where it kind of is just an unstoppable.
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
full enough to attack the thing, then it.
Yeah, that's what I think that was. If they do a certain amount of hit point damage to the actual butt, it
rips open.
goes out, and they go, "Cool, we got rid of it." And then the face comes in, and that's like, "Cool, game over, done, bye bye."
It's just all tentacles and eyes, and it's like,
Like
oh, that's lovely.
big pinchers like a
It's
spider.
just-
Tyler, I forgot to add you on, so I just forwarded it to you. But I have character sheets for almost, I would say, 70% of the town done right now, and in each one, well, most of them, some of them didn't really need it, but I put like a little, like one of the children from the hotel. His little thing is he doesn't want to actually take over the hotel. He got his hands on a jazz record and a jazz newspaper report from New York that talked about the jazz scene, and he secretly since he plays guitar or piano, he secretly wants to run away to New York and be a musician. The woman who runs the stable, her husband passed away, and she's Indian. I gave them I looked up the Lakota names, and I gave them matching names. Her husband's name was Horse, and there's all like little linking things. And
Her name was
No, no.
Sands
With what I have written right now, yeah, her significant other was disappeared in Sika's Hollow, actually.
Right, that's why. And then his Lakota name, I can't pronounce it. It's on the character sheet, but I don't want to mispronounce it, I should say. But it translates to like strong horse or something like that.
Okay.
Sweet.
So now we've got to actually we're going to have to start thinking about the editing. That's going to be Oscar's thing. But see, I don't really know, how do we bring this all together?
So at the moment, looking at what Tyler has, I've been sending some things back and forth. There's two sections of his. There's the cannibal, and then there's the storm. When the storm starts, that kind of fit in with where my stuff has gotten to, and so I've kind of just left placeholders for those to slot into, and then his will just continue from there.
And when we send this to like the repository, I don't know how. See, this is the part that I don't know how it works. Do we write it up like Oscar was telling us? The way you write it up is a certain specific way.
Yes, the from Drive-Through RPG, if you go to the repository, you can download their template.
Speaking of which, by the way, Sean Little has just uploaded some stuff. He's created his own collection of.
Cool.
All right, and then I suppose I send the art files separately, and they put them where they're supposed to go.
No, I think we have to do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we put together the whole thing as long as it fits in their template.
Okay, I'll take a look at their template. I haven't really looked yet.
From what I understand too, we don't necessarily have to use their template. Their templates are there in case you really don't know how to do layout. Okay. So if somebody wants to tackle layout and doing it on their own, I think we're allowed to. It still needs to go through their approval process.
Right.
But
I'll do that part because that's what I do all day anyway. It's layout.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, because I thought maybe there was a specific way that they wanted things done exactly.
Yeah, so we'll have to get. So once the body of the writing's done, we'll have to add the NPCs into it, get the cast list put together, get the handouts done, and then put it all together.
So Jason, did you want to talk about any of your play test? That's going to be fun. We've already got people lined up that want to play test. Cool. And haven't been watching the show. Jason, did you want to go over any of your character-specific ones? Tell us about them.
Yeah, I'll bring some up. I misspoke before. I shouldn't say I. So Zane and myself have about 70% of them done. I didn't want to take credit for. But yeah, let me bring up some of these characters here and. Just one moment. All right, like the Penman Hotel. Why Sorry, let me just close this. I had some stuff open, so all right. The Penman Hotel, which will be a main spot for the characters, the player characters, because they'll be staying there and questioning them. There was 4 people there. We had George Penman, Jonathan, Mary, and Matthew. George would be the husband. This is opening now. I'm sorry, no. George is the bellboy / maintenance, age 17, male, birthplace West Haven. That is the, strong-willed. He knows he should run his father's business, but is torn between the new jazz fad that's on the radio and secretly hopes to become a musician. I have under encounters with strange things. He's seen something out in the woods a few miles out of town. Strange footprints in the mud. Kind of look like a big lizard. Crazy, right? And then I just, I had under Gears in Possession, he had a Louis Armstrong Satchmo article from the New York City Times. And he got his fedora hat. I gave him some skills in dancing, music writing, and guitar. I mean, it's just little things to round out the characters. Some of the stuff is probably never even going to come up in an actual game, but I just tried to go the extra mile with every character I created to make them an actual human, and not just tall male, blonde hair, blah, blah, blah. I just put a little bit
to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. For example, like I was bringing up earlier, the Bluebell Stables, and the woman is a Native American Lakota tribe, which was written into the story, so I worked with that. And her name is, in Lakota, it's Kimimela. So it's Kimalia, Magaskawee. And then under her thing, it basically, strong, beautiful woman, jet black hair, seems to be a sadness in her eyes. And her name in Lakota is Graceful Butterfly.
Oh.
So, yeah, Kimalia is Butterfly. And like I said, I don't want to butcher it by completely mispronouncing it, but it's basically Graceful Butterfly in Lakota. And I went to a Lakota website and checked it. It wasn't like something I just found, mismatch online.
Right. Yeah, I don't use the Google Translate.
Yeah, no, I went into a Lakota name database and got them from there.
Cool.
Kudos on your due diligence.
Oh yeah, but I didn't even see you come in. I had the screen minimized.
Sorry about arriving late, guys.
That's okay.
Only a couple minutes. How you
We've
doing?
just been talking about the starting to bring everything together, the different kind of sections, and then I talked briefly about a change that we made to the cannibal, and that's what we've just kind of been discussing for the bit.
Now, there's about 70% of the townsfolk made. As of right now, I just went into Dole's house and used full character sheets to create them just so I can keep everything organized. I'm assuming later you'd let me know what format you'd want everybody in, but I went in and gave everybody a slight little backstory, a slight, where I felt it relevant. And like little dreams, like stuff that they do. I gave them skills that aren't on the sheet, like cooking or sewing, guitar, dancing, just to round out the NPCs a bit.
Right. When it comes down to it, I imagine there's it's a matter of space once again. Correct. That characters that are going to possibly have combat, lead combat, characters that are just secondary characters in a hotel, they'll probably be reduced down to just stats. And
yeah, we talked about we'll have like a townsperson stats. So, like, if it's just a random person they bump into in the street, they can just use those
Right.
if they get into a scuffle. It's kind of like, I know when I did Miss Jews, it was like beat cop, and you used that stat for every police
Yeah,
officer.
and even if there isn't such a direct thing in scenarios where there's like cops or something, they still have like in case you need it.
Right.
Here's random town people stats,
Yeah,
just so you have something to use if push comes to shove. But yeah, for primary characters, having like those things like the role playing hooks, trying to here's some help for the keeper. Here's how you should run these guys. And kind of like some descriptions and things.
Yeah, because that like the son that's into the jazz music, he saw something in the woods, so the players might go and want to go, ooh, maybe he'll point us in the direction of that, and they can bond with him about talking about jazz music and blah, 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 if they know that he's into it, so they can use that as a role play hook. We also, sorry, you go, Chase.
I was just going to say, I also wanted to see more of, not saying right now, but when there's more of a finished product out, I wanted to read through it and then go back again and edit down or add to the sheets. That's just something I did to bring each person alive in my head. Now, if, there's nothing in the scenario about such and such, whatever going on, I'll go and redact that. I just put stuff in to bring life to them. And then if something changes, like today, the cannibal went from male to female. Now I'll just go back and rewrite that. But I'm not doing a full final working on each character until everything else is pretty much written, because then I'll go have to, it'll save a little time. I just did it to get each person's personality in my head.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to the editing yet. That's where Oscar. Right. He takes our 500 sheets and pares them down to 3 sheets. So.
I know.
We're also going to name the youngest son. The youngest son is going to be named Oscar.
Yeah. We thought you might like that one. And Zane is working on the toads and the sand people.
Yeah, we talked about, I think in the last one was having like more the shaman toads, the warrior toads, the scouts. So I'm going to do like different stats of like, these are your combat ones, these are your magic ones, and so on and so.
Now, I would like at some point, not tonight, but at some point, Tyler and Morgan to check out the cannibals' magic and see if those spells and magic I picked would meet the character you've written into the scenario. Obviously, there needs to be some sort of cannibal magic, and I added 2 or 3 other spells that I think would fit the character that was created. And if not, please feel free to change or send it to me and I'll do the changes, because I wasn't sure how powerful or weak you were having the character made, but what I put I think will fit. But like I said, I'm open to any ideas here.
Okay. Where just for curiosity, where were you pulling the spells from? Just the rule book?
Yeah, and I put the page of the rule book right next to the spell, so if you guys wanted to read it, you didn't have to go searching.
So are the page numbers, are they from the core rulebook or are they from like the grimoire, like the
core keeper's book?
Good.
Okay.
Good.
And right after it, I put the. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I just said that's a really good idea, because then it allows the GM to go, boom, there they are.
Exactly. I figured that way everybody who's going to be running it should have that book handy, and then the page numbers right next to the spell.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then I guess how powerful or how not powerful is I'll leave up to Tyler.
Okay.
I'm probably thinking that the cannibal shouldn't be able to take them all on.
Oh no, but
by yourself. But it, like if you get alone, if you like isolate you, you're kind of in trouble.
Like I gave her or him wither. I gave them some. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second.
Wither.
I thought that would be a good one. Here we go. Spellbook, the Youthful Feast. One cast. This one I made up. So, cast 1 cooking humans. Spell reduces age by 1d6 months per feast. The Shriveling, which is Wither, Keeper's Rulebook, page 262. Mental Suggestion, Keeper's Rulebook, page 260. And The Evil Eye, page 259. That's all I put.
Okay.
I was wondering, because I was reading through Morgan's thing earlier. Should we use the term toad, or should we use the term lizard? Because
Probably lizard.
toad kind of implies frog.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, lizards. We'll switch it to lizards.
stuff. All the Cthulhu stuff is toads.
Right. All right. Now the frog, the toad thing got stuck in my head because of the of Golgoroth that we talked about at the very beginning. But we'll just switch the description of them to be closer to like lizard-like than toad-like.
Right. It says in the description that they have skin that looks like sand, or it's encrusted with sand. In our case, I mean, horned lizards live in the desert and they look just like sand, but they do have little spikes on them. So it's the same idea.
Yeah, that's an easy change. That's not a problem. Now, Tom, were you going to be making the handout?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do all the handouts if that's what you guys
Okay.
want. If there are texts that you want to write, otherwise, I mean, I can write stuff. I just need to know where they come in and so forth, and what to put, how much information to put in and how much not to put in. I can figure all that out, and then run it by you guys to approve. I'll see what I can do some of that by the next one. We can look at those next time.
Yeah, I've just been leaving little like C handout things next to things that I think should have a handout.
Okay. Anything else? Is that our catch up for this week?
At least on my part, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Just look over the email I sent you guys. If there's any, the names will be changed, obviously,
Sure.
but just if there's anything, maybe that doesn't click, or I like that, just some feedback whenever you get a chance. No rush on it. Other than that, I'll just keep pushing along as long as that's acceptable.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Our thanks to Tyler Hudak, Oscar Rios, Morgan Llewellyn, Zane Fleming, and Jason Melnichuk for being here tonight. If you'd like to help support our show, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find the link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good game.